Welcome back to Nick Lenz Comic Corner, classic, lesser known classics. This is episode number 2981 and Doubleshot number 2875. First reviewing Green Lantern, My Brother's Keeper. The last trade I have left to review for Green Lantern Volume 3, which contained issues 151 to 155, along with Green Lantern Secret Files and Origins. My guess by collecting the Joe Winick story he has in here. These are, in fact, the last issues discussed for Joe Winick's time on the book. When I finish these issues, I'm done with Joe Winick's time. Yeah, not a very long one, per se. I'll get to that. So, we had to go some on the artwork for this first issue. Mostly put in this opening issue, we have Kyle in his brand new Green Lantern outfit. Stop some criminals. It's a nice standalone issue. Now, I should remember interesting about Kyle's assistant here named Terry. Terry is openly gay. They reveal this a little bit later. And finally, right, he's actually based on somebody who Joe Winick knows from a TV show he worked on. You're thinking, really? Yeah, really. Winick based this on a character, someone he knew in real life. This is nothing unusual for a writer for basically to base someone they know, at least as a character, not a personality trait per se. Let's see. Because apparently Joe Winick himself worked on a TV show known as, actually no, we have friendship with the star, with the cast member of Real Life San Francisco, Pedro Zamora, who apparently was the first openly gay man on mainstream television, an AIDS advocate. Passed away in 1984. Yep. Yeah, so basically, if Terry is own thing, of course, Kyle's trying to keep it with his own, let's say, editors, basically, because he's an artist. Then we have this weird moment here where his boss takes some water out, then takes over coat, takes over shirt in front of her, right in front of him. Yeah, and she realized she didn't know what the heck she's doing. She's just talking to him. And apparently everyone's acting really weird. Like, you have one of the members just take off his pants and shirt, like, what the heck? Apparently, everyone's going weird in this issue. And I have to get under control. And it turns out Jen is kind of indirectly responsible for going this. Yes, Jade. Yeah, she's responsible for this. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then, of course, her father shows up at the very next issue. Yep, because of course he does. Because, you see, at first, Alan Scott had no idea he had a daughter, and despite the fact that he'd been absent from her life for a lot when she was younger, he does deeply he does love his daughter, and he loves his son too. His son was later outed as gay, and thank God they did not out Jade as lesbian. That was stupid. Though somebody at DC Comics appears to go aside Alan Scott. The Prime Universe Alan Scott is gay, even though that. Okay, I didn't have a problem with it with the Earth 2 stuff, but Prime Universe 1 should not be gay, because he's straight. He has a wife. It's like the writer of that story, I make a chance to this, I'm going to ask about this, like, whose bright idea was it to out the Prime Universe Alan Scott as gay? Because this man is married twice and he has kids. So, yeah, so they have a little fight, and of course, basically, and then it turns out, okay, so the person sponsor is not Jade, but Brainwave Jr. of Infinity Incorporated. The way Joe Winick writes, oh yeah, part of the short-lived Infinity Incorporated. Which, I don't know if that's basically a knock on the original Infinity Incorporated series, which was amazing, by the way. That book lasted for 52 issues. Over 4 years. You call that short-lived? The book was amazing. I don't know if that was not going to Roy Thomas. I don't know. So, and various groups that he's been part of over the years. And now he's turned evil, like his father. Yeah. And the book ends with him knocking out Alan, Jade, and Kyle. And he just walks away. And you're like, what? Why the heck would Brainwave just leave two people he knows really well alone like that? Yeah. Oh, he basically, before Flashpoint, he's still very much alive. Oh, in case you're curious, though, he only appeared just for this one issue. And he never again appeared in the main book. Nope. He did appear in a team miniseries for Kyle and Alan. Yes. But in the main book, nope. He did not appear again. Why? No idea why. It's like basically like the whole point of this issue is that that's so much of a dick he is, and then walk off, never mention again. And then 153, you have Kyle have a high school reunion. He's invited, and Jade, of course, has kind of forgotten what happened events of the last issue, so they just go there and of course, you have Kyle reunited with his mom. This is Jenny. Hi. And of course, she comes, oh, you're much younger than the person in the Kyle's pictures. What do we think? The Atkins died in a tuck for that. Yeah, and apparently that Jade and Kyle's mom gets along really well. Yeah, and of course, basically, he's getting embarrassed by her. Jade's like, he's so cute when he's worked up. He always has been. He proposed to you? Yeah. He gave me Girl Lansbury in the Batman head. The side. Yep. Then we see Kyle's room. He's like, all this stuff in his room, which is so funny. And he goes to his high school reunion. And then it looks like he sees, like, his mom basically did chat for a bit. And then he decides, and apparently, like, so, then the issue ends, revealed that, oh, something's happened to Terry. Well, it's during that history, he got beaten up behind a club because the fact he was basically, someone spotted him making out with another guy. So, yeah, we have a hate crime. Yep. And so discuss 154, we're straight 155, where he's recovered from his little attack. And, of course, also, Hal Jordan shows up here as the Spectre. Yeah, that's the whole point of the whole hate crime stuff, is the fact that... by the way, also, it's revealed that Terry has a boyfriend named David. Yeah, and Terry got beaten up because he's gay. And so... And, of course, then Kyle goes to visit Wally at the Watchtower, which, by the way, at this point is the moon. He back to use it, and of course, And Batman points that he can't do it, and after some convincing, he decides not to use it. Then, of course, contacts the Spectre for some justice, and then, of course, the whole thing with the Guardians. And, of course, Jen's there, too, and, of course, basically, it's like, then we have Terry, it's like, look as bad as I feel. Lame Joe Yum. No one's telling what happened to me. Yeah. And then we see like a letter, and of course, basically the issue ends with a really cool moment. John Stewart becoming Green Lantern again. I'm like, this is awesome. Yeah, next is John Stewart is totally passing the torch. I gotta say, but we're not done here just yet. No. We do have a Secret Files Origins book to discuss. Yep, released in 2002. Now, the stories in this book are, we have the hard-loving heroes, written by Ben Rabb, a guy who actually would succeed Joe Winick on the book, as the writer with Jim Eagle on the artwork, Jamal Eagle. Then we have A Single Point of Failure, written by Dan Curtis Johnson, artwork by Greg Scott. Joe Winick does the third story in the book, which is Feast Magazine / City Dwellers by Kyle Rayner. We have a story called simply Green Lantern, where it's written by Scott Beatty and Dan Ingersoll as the artwork. Jade, also done by Scott Beatty, with Jimmy Sickle on the artwork. There's a pen-up of Alan Scott. A Terry Berg story written by Scott Beatty and Eric Schoner on the artwork. A Circle of Fire story, which I think this was actually collected in the Circle of Fire trade. I thought it was. I don't think it was. Yeah. Which is done by Scott Beatty, artwork by Robert Toshi. Dark Lantern, Scott Beatty, Brett Anderson. Scott Beatty does also a John Stewart story, and also has pin-ups cover up by Jim Lee. Yep. So, the opening story is basically Kyle taking on a giant robot. And of course, here with Jade, and of course, she has what we're thinking, and of course, basically, like. Yeah, and. Yeah, then we have Jamie, a friend of hers. Basically, it's about a wedding ring. Of course, it's all about. And of course, you have a recap of basically about her history with her father, and her mother, and her brother, and how, and when he became what he was, and Guy. Nice recap of Green Lantern's history, which probably told by Jen, by Jade, and then of course she ends up fighting the giant robot, and it explodes. And of course, basically, it's like, I won't be Alex. I will never be Alex. It's like, no, you won't. I want you to be. Yep. And of course, they make out, and that's the Ben Rabb story. At the pinup of. Profile pic of Kyle Rayner. Then we have another story involving basically Kyle Rayner, where he is dealing with Mr. Bones and his recap of the Green Lantern's history. And he's here chatting with Alan Scott and Jade. And the perfect Jade and Alan Scott, which Alan's done really weird. This is done by Mike Grell, who does. I think this is Mike Grell. I'm not sure who does his artwork, but yeah, that's how one of those depicts Alan Scott. Very weird, per se. Then we have the Joe Winick story. Yes, the City Dwellers one. This actually is Joe Winick's story, believe it or not. He doesn't necessarily write this one. He doesn't draw this one, but he does write it. It's a weird story about Terry. Oh yeah, and the Circle of Fire. That's actually just text. Yeah, it's just text, basically. Yep, and that's it. That's the Secret Files Origins book. It's pretty good. I give the book roughly a, what do I give it? How about basically, give these issues a 10 out of 10. I thought they were really good. Final thoughts on Joe Winick's time on the book. You're thinking, really? Final thoughts already? Well, I have discussed Past Torch, and also what happened after Past Torch was the crossover with Green Arrow, which basically ended his time on Green Lantern, which he moved to the Green Arrow, which he basically remained the writer of the book throughout the remainder of that volume. with the exception of like a couple issues. Mostly, what he was a major writer of that volume. Even part of its relaunch when it was Green Lantern Green Arrow / Black Canary. Started 129, ended with issue 164. A very interesting time in this book. Nothing bad per se, except that I would say the most noteworthy thing about this time on this book was that Kyle gets a new costume. But it's overall a really fun run per se. But of course, basically, the penultimate writer wouldn't be Ben Rabb before Ron Martz comes back to the book to basically cap off this run before being relaunched as Ion. And the other reason the book ended was because Jeff Johns was coming in to do Green Lantern Rebirth. But yeah, Jeff Winick's run, fantastic. I love the fact they explore the relationship between Jade and Kyle. It's an excellent book, and I do recommend it. Next up we have is Legion of Superheroes, Volume 3. Well, this is basically the trade for it. Let me get the name for it, by the way. Let's see. This was sadly also the last trade to collect issues from this volume. It's called More Things Change, and this collects issues from Green Legion Superheroes Volume 3, issues 7 to 13. Written by Paul Levitz, no Keith Given in the artwork here. We have mostly put just a lot of stuff happening throughout these 7 issues. We have stuff involving not exactly Colossus Boy. We also have a romance going on in the book. Also, and also the fact that Arena Lightning Lass, she finds out her brother and her sister-in-law are basically expecting a baby, which they do show up, and she's so happy to be in. Then she only interacts with her nephew very briefly before walking off. I'm like, really? Like, I'm an aunt. You'd never. Yep. And she's so happy to be an aunt. Then we have Timberwolf basically do some training. Yeah, and Colossal Boy basically is not exactly. He's very sad to see his mom resign as president. She's been in prison for quite a while. And of course, more battling other stuff here. Of course, you have Monel here with Shadow Lass, who is his wife. Yes. And there's a brief image here of Batman. Because, of course, one of the victims was a descendant of his. So, yeah, talk about destroying the world in issue 7. Sorry about that. This thing likes to do that for some reason. Yeah, and of course we have them acting on their own missions, basically possibly to save this area, just destroy the whole planet. Oh, in case you're curious, Lightning Lad's son debuts in issue 13. Yep. Yes, he does. And of course, they still deal with the Legion of Super Villains this issue because, of course, they do. R.J. Brando returns his issues. Yes, R.J. Brando, the father of Chameleon Boy. Issue 9, we do with Return of Computo. Issue 10, Election Days, we elect a new leader. I think it's Dream Girl who ends up being the leader of the... who basically, they do like Dream Girl as leader of the Legion. The new president of Earth. Yeah, and basically we debuted new president, Major Dossel. And he basically doesn't really appear very much per se. He mostly appears in this very volume. He actually just appears in this volume. Once his volume pretty much concludes, he never appears ever again. Yeah, but she first meets very briefly, and then Superman returns to the book. Yeah, Superboy. This was 1985, so basically, yeah, Superboy briefly returns to the book. Which I find that interesting. Yes. And the final issue, well, it's basically Timberwolf issue. Maybe one of the last issue is Leland McKinley III. A rival R.J. Brendel. Yeah. But really cool issues. I think that Paul Levitt does an excellent job with these issues. And I do recommend checking these issues out. They're really good. I give these issues a 9 out of 10. Yep. So yeah, that's particularly a particular review. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications, and do this like button. Well, next up basically is going to be... Oh, wait, hold on. There's one more book before I end it here. Because one of the issues actually picks up, believe it or not, was the trade did not collect this, but I did notice in the issues that it did continue in this very issue. DC Comics presents number 80, which has Superman team with the lead superheroes. Written by Paul Kupperberg, and this takes place right after issue. I think it was like 9. I think it was. Where the Legion basically go to pass the team with Superman for a story. Oh, and I think it was who was it? I think it was Ultra Boy. I think it was. It was one other person. It was wasn't Starboy. Elements Lad, yeah, Elements Lad. He started a relationship with somebody in here. With Sovereign Aaron. Yeah. Which they continued. And she basically was a science officer, liaison to the group, to Legion. But they never married. Yeah, but she was commonly involved in these issues. At one point, Element Lad got kissed by Dream Girl, and yeah. So, and of course, even Summer realized that, yeah, basically the kiss meant nothing. Basically, even, like, there's something romantic between the two of them, between Dream Girl and her, and him. Even she realized that. I do find it interesting that Dream Girl was the one who kissed him, because I'm like, damn. And it's interesting that at one point this one became leader of the Legion for a brief period of time. And she was married at some point to a guy called Mordru. At one point, she was dating, believe it or not, Brainiac 5 in one of the continuities. Yes, I think it was like post-Zero Hour, I think it was. Oh, by the way, in the case of the Superman issue, it's basically him taking on the Legion, but basically they shorted up the whole thing of like the multiple Superman stuff. It's also the original Brainiac, which, by the way, this is the Brainiac just prior to Crisis on Infinite Earths. Yes, from what I read, now I read the issues happen. This happened just in the last. Basically, this happened about a year or two prior to Crisis on Infinite Earths. They decided to adapt this new look. And I have to deal with all the multiple Superman, and it's a nice standalone issue. And of course, basically, Leech goes back to their own book right after this issue wraps up. Yep. But overall, damn good issue. Okay? So, yes, that's going to be pretty much it particular review. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications, and do this like button. Well, let me take a break first, and I'll be back to do another video. Another Comic Corner. Okay? Next video. Bye.